remember we were talking about the migrant that came in, and there was the do-gooder who was so concerned about the migrants who wound up in a suitcase.
Oh yes, the suitcase migrant woman. Yeah.
Well, it turns out that this migrant had a little bit of a backing. The Red Cross had a video on the guy.
Right on. Wow.
Charting his story. It's just such a heroic, wonderful story going on.
Maryland.
I had to wind up deleting this, but let's see.
He tried to travel to Greece, but the police arrested him and put him in jail for 3 days.
What?
When I got out, I found smugglers who created another game for me to go to Greece. Finally, I made it.
Sharif has now been at a camp in Lesbos for 6 months.
Whoa, with
Living
lesbians.
in the camp is so hard. Sometimes when I think about living here,
With these
it's
lesbians.
so crazy. I try to find somewhere calm, and then I cry a lot.
Yeah.
I have an aunt in the United Kingdom, and she told me, I can take full responsibility of you if someone helps you to get to the UK, but if I can't get there, I don't know what will happen to me.
He
And
tried
after
to.
you do, a woman can die and be found in a suitcase. It'll work out great for everybody.
She wouldn't help him. She wouldn't take responsibility, the woman. Only his aunt would take responsibility.
Yeah, well, apparently. And this is him doing the perp walk.
Oh, nice.
He's in a Greek port.
That's cool.
Okay.
It's a NATO country.
Yeah, I know.
They have justice there. They have justice in Greece.
Well, while we're talking about, I'll just say gender confusion, just because I'm trying to ear horn this in.
Yeah.
This guy announced, because I don't know if you heard, there's a big controversy about the WNBA. That, hey,
Yeah, what is this?
we should be able to have trans athletes in the
boy.
WNBA.
Oh, I'm for that. I am so for that. I'm encouraging it right now.
Oh, and guess what? This particular
It's a
player,
7'5" massive man.
He's only 6'10", but let's see.
Oh, okay. That's the
After
guy?
careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines, I am officially declaring myself a WNBA prospect. If simply declaring who you are is all that's required, then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA. My team and I have carefully examined the WNBA's eligibility criteria and the governing framework surrounding self-identification and inclusion. Based on the current guidelines, I can and am officially declaring my eligibility for the upcoming WNBA draft in May 2027. I am definitely not here to mock, make fun of, or disrespect any community or personal choices. I am simply asking that the current rules be applied equally to everyone. The rules that represent the very values many WNBA players and coaches have publicly advocated for. My team and I are prepared to ensure these guidelines are applied equally, consistently, and without exception. And I look forward to the WNBA honoring its stated principles. See you at training camp.
Dude, I'm rooting for him.
Oh, me too.
Oh, please. He would be the Wilt Chamberlain of the WNBA. And I mean, the dominance of Chamberlain at the beginning of his career was insane. There were like guys hanging off of him, trying to block him and box him out to no avail. But this guy would have similar results, I think.
Well, the beauty of this is it's very similar. Our friend Nate did a video, and it's like 8 million views or whatever on it, of a trans Canadian weightlifting coach, right? Powerlifting. And he went out and he said, yo, I'm a woman. And he went and just destroyed every record.
Wow.
And the beauty of it was he was just like this guy, right? He looked absolutely male. It was so obvious what he was doing.
I didn't know that. I thought it was a legitimate trans person who,
no,
like the swimmer, who just happened to look masculine.
No. This guy took it the whole way. And here's the irony. The records he smashed were won by a trans athlete.
That's funny.
So
you think this guy can get in just straight up? I mean,
well, either he's forcing the issue.
Yeah.
They have to let him in if they go by their standards, if that's the plan, or they have to say, no, sorry, it's for women. And then you know what? Problem solved. Either way, right? Either he makes a mockery out of them, which they kind of already are,
Right.
or he forces their hand where they kind of have to say, yeah. I mean, come on, think about it.
But
For
it
a
must
second.
be
Why
trans-
is there a WNBA? If you
I don't know.
allow anything but women, it's not WNBA.
But there's
It's
got to be a
NBA.
trans woman who plays basketball, no? I mean, a legitimate trans woman who plays basketball.
There probably is, but here's the thing. The exclusion is specifically for women. It is made for women, and they're excluding everybody else. If you're a trans player, go play in the NBA if you can qualify. That's open. There is no rule saying that a woman can't play in the NBA or anybody else can't play in the NBA. They just have to merit the job.
What about men trying to get into the WNBA? Just straight up men. I mean, because it reminds me of the Girl Scouts going to the Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts, which was
they
ridiculous.
went to court. The Boy Scouts was sued, and they lost the case. And they said girls can be in the Boy Scouts. Just the judge.
Yeah, I know, and that's a ridiculous outcome. I agree.
Right, but I mean, it's similar to this. It's similar to this.
That is a good question. A legitimate trans woman. It is.
Yes, I am thinking of in his prime, Schmuckface Schaefer, a guy named Bruce Jenner who could have dominated this sport when he transitioned to become a woman. He's a little too old now, but I'm looking for someone, the basketball version of the decathlon, Bruce Jenner, to do this.
Can I make a point though? In fairness, Bruce Jenner did dominate the sport,
right?
Amongst men too. I know. I mean, with the women, it wouldn't even. It would have been a joke.
No, but I'm saying that none of this stuff existed when he transitioned. And I think he still had athletic powers that were above a normal person.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, honestly, Nate's done a lot with like the women's soccer team and things like that. They had a contest with the Women's World Cup champion soccer team. The U.S. women, they won everything, won the Olympics, they won World Cups, everything else. They got their asses kicked by junior high school boys.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, Bobby Riggs versus Billie Jean, that was proven. I mean, it's been proven over and over again in certain sports that it's.
Yeah, even Serena Williams
Serena Williams.
She said, if she was ranked with the men, she said, I think she was, 490th.
Yep.
It's ridiculous, and she's super dominant in her sport. So, and by the way, you bring up Caitlyn Jenner or Bruce Jenner or whatever. Caitlyn is against trans athletes in women's sports.
Yeah.
Probably because Caitlyn is formerly a true athlete.
Yeah.
And knows that. But anyway, I had to share that. I thought that was a nice light moment, and I wish her all the luck in the world.
And I like to see the poly market odds on him making it in there. That would be interesting.
I agree. Now, I brought up the flock cameras. I think last time we were on, or it's kind of been floating around. Well, it's starting to go around here. This case, every flock camera was stolen in a Minnesota town.
I love these stories. I love this vigilante stuff.
I do too. And there was another guy that got arrested. I think he has 20,000 alibi witnesses that said he wasn't there.
Oh, that's even funnier. It's jury nullification.
Oh, yeah. I am hoping that we see more and more and more and more of
this is merely an attempt by socialists to get money for their programs. So I mean, it's not like it's to help anybody or to stop auto deaths or anything. It's just another crazy attempt to get money from people.
Yeah, I agree.
They're desperate to perpetuate their $500,000 salaries that many people have in these government positions, these astoundingly enormous salaries for small towns and cities in California and other places, I presume. Every time I hear it on the news, my jaw drops of these salaries, and they vote themselves raises. They're making $400,000 or $500,000 a year doing absolutely nothing, and yet they can't seem to get money to continue their lifestyles, Eric. So they come up with schemes like this.
Right. Well, do you ever think about, because sometimes I actually do look at these things and it makes my head hurt. I go, okay, the town population is like, or city, okay, 10,000 people. Maybe.
Yeah.
20,000, right?
Yep.
And they have a police department of 10.
Yeah.
Then they're making, some of them are making them, I'm like, where the hell is the money coming from? Because there's you're taxing people, and you got property taxes and that, and there's some sales tax, but I'm like, how in the hell can they pay the salaries? How can they do it?
It used to be the reason people didn't go into government was because the salaries were so low.
Sure.
They were like $10,000 a year. It was almost like a voluntary program to be in city government. And once some certain people got in there, they began to reverse this and quadruple their salaries immediately, get entrenched on the left. And that's where we are with these $500,000 salaries. There's a story we're going to cover later and torn from the headlines about the woman who runs the homeless housing initiative here in LA, and her salary that she was taking down for the LA Homeless Association. 1.6 million she got last year. Where does she live? In a condo in Hawaii. In another state, she bought her mother a condo. And when pressed by the media, she said, no, it's 40 years of vacation time I didn't take. They seem to be able to mathematically justify anything through their bullshit stories. But I mean, think about that. She's head of an NGO dealing with homelessness. The money's coming from the taxpayers into the NGO. The next person in back of her, the salary is 200 grand, but she's getting 1.6 million.
Wow. So she's good. She's the equivalent of at least, 8 people.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll cover it in locals afterwards a little bit more, but it just reminded me of that.
Well, and to be fair, not every small city does that. I mean, Hampton has, whatever issues it does, but where I live, I think the population is 125,000 people. The mayor and the city council are part-time jobs.
That's what it should be. That's what it should be.
The mayor is like an elevated council member.
Yeah.
If you will, it's kind of, they do vote them in or whatever it is, but, and they get, I think they make 30 or 40,000 a year, something like that, which is not unreasonable for the people and stuff like that. And that's what
there should be a limit to what they make in city government. Any city, it should be, 50 grand tops. You don't like it, don't get in. You know what I mean? It should be, legislation about the limits of the salaries, because they're not salaries from a company. They're taking money from citizens who are unbeknownst to this being ripped off. And most people don't know that these guys are making 500,000 a year.
Well, yeah, because most places they aren't. I mean,
yeah,
it is just crazy. It is. All right, now this is a crazy story. This is was breaking today. Apparently, I think it went on overnight.